action. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This highlights the importance of cultivating good habits in our personal development, as our daily habits shape who we are and what we achieve in life. Habits are routines of behavior that we engage in regularly and often unconsciously. They can be positive or negative, and they can have a significant impact on our lives. In personal development, the cultivation of positive habits is essential for achieving success and fulfillment. One of the main reasons that habits are so important is that they shape our daily lives. The choices we make on a regular basis determine the outcomes we experience. If we make positive choices consistently, we will likely experience positive outcomes. If we make negative choices consistently, we will likely experience negative outcomes. Habits help us to automate these choices so that we don't have to expend as much mental energy on making them. This can be a good thing if we have positive habits, but a bad thing if we have negative ones. For example, let's say that someone has a habit of going to the gym every morning before work. This habit helps them to stay fit and healthy, and it also gives them a sense of accomplishment early in the day. Because they've developed this habit, they don't have to think about whether or not they should go to the gym each morning. It's just something they do automatically. On the other hand, if someone has a habit of hitting the snooze button on their alarm clock several times each morning, they may find it difficult to get up and start their day. This habit can make them feel groggy and unmotivated, and it can set a negative tone for the rest of the day. Another reason that habits are important in personal development is that they help us to build momentum. When we engage in positive habits consistently, we create a sense of forward motion in our lives. Each small action that we take builds on the previous one, and we start to see progress over time. This momentum can be incredibly motivating, and it can help us to achieve our goals faster. For example, let's say that someone wants to write a book. They decide to write for 30 minutes every day, no matter what. Over time, this habit helps them to make progress on their book, even if it's just a little bit each day. As they see their word count increase, they feel more motivated to keep writing. The habit of writing for 30 minutes each day creates a sense of momentum that helps them to stay focused and productive. On the other hand, if someone wants to write a book but doesn't have a habit of writing regularly, they may find it difficult to make progress. They might write for a few hours one day, but then get busy with other things and not write again for several days or even weeks. This stop and start approach can make it difficult to build momentum, and it can be discouraging to see little progress over time. A third reason that habits are important in personal development is that they help us to overcome resistance. Resistance is the internal force that keeps us from doing the things we know we should do. It's the voice in our head that says, "I don't feel like doing that right now," or "I'll do it later." Resistance can be particularly strong when we're trying to make changes in our lives or pursue new goals. When we have positive habits in place, we can use them to overcome resistance. We don't have to rely solely on our willpower to make positive changes. We can rely on our habits as well. For example, let's say that someone has a habit of meditating for 10 minutes each morning. When they wake up feeling stressed or anxious, they might feel resistance to sitting down and meditating. But because they have a habit of meditating, they know that it's something they do automatically each morning. They don't have to rely on willpower to push through the resistance. They can simply follow their habit and meditate anyway. This can help them to manage their stress and anxiety more effectively, even when they're feeling resistant. On the other hand, if someone doesn't have a habit of meditating regularly, they might find it difficult to overcome resistance when they're feeling stressed or anxious. They might have to rely solely on willpower to motivate themselves to meditate, which can be a difficult task when they're feeling resistant. So how do we cultivate positive habits in personal development? One approach is to use the habit loop model. This model has 3 components: the cue, the behavior, and the reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the behavior. The behavior is the habit itself, and the reward is the positive outcome that reinforces the behavior. For example, let's say that someone wants to develop a habit of flossing their teeth every night before bed. They might start by using a cue, something like putting their floss on their pillow as a visual reminder. When they see the floss, they know that it's time to floss their teeth. The behavior itself is flossing their teeth, and the reward might be the feeling of cleanliness in their mouth or the knowledge that they're taking care of their dental health. Another approach to cultivating positive habits is to start small. Instead of trying to make a big change all at once, start with something small and manageable. For example, if someone wants to start exercising regularly, they might begin by taking a 10-minute walk each day. This small habit is easy to accomplish and doesn't require a lot of willpower. Once they've established this habit, they can gradually increase the amount of exercise they do over time. Consistency is also key when it comes to cultivating positive habits. It's important to engage in the behavior regularly so that it becomes automatic. This can take time and effort, but it's worth it in the long run. When we have positive habits in place, we're more likely to achieve our goals and experience a sense of fulfillment in our lives. In conclusion, habits play a crucial role in personal development. They shape our daily lives, help us to build momentum, and allow us to overcome resistance. By cultivating positive habits through the habit loop model, starting small and being consistent, we can create a foundation for success and fulfillment in our lives. Personal development is a major time saver. The better you become, the less time it takes you to achieve your goals. Brian Tracy. Have you ever felt like you're not living up to your full potential? Maybe you have big dreams and goals, but you're not sure how to achieve them. That's where personal development comes in. Personal development is all about improving yourself, growing as a person, and achieving your goals. And there's no one right way to do it. But the traditional approach is a great place to start. The traditional approach to personal development is a structured and comprehensive way to work on yourself and achieve your goals. It's like a roadmap that guides you towards becoming the best version of yourself. Here's how it works. Self-assessment. The first step in the traditional approach to personal development is self-assessment. This means taking a good, hard look at yourself and figuring out your strengths and weaknesses. It's important to be honest with yourself during this process, so you can identify the areas that need the most attention. You might ask yourself questions like, what are my natural talents? What are my values? What are my weaknesses or blind spots? Goal setting. Once you've completed your self-assessment, the next step is to set some goals for yourself. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, smart. This means they should be clear, actionable, and have a deadline. Setting goals helps give you a sense of direction and purpose. You might ask yourself questions like, what do I want to achieve? What would I like to improve on? What would make me happy? Skill building. To achieve your goals, you may need to develop new skills or improve existing ones. This might mean taking courses or workshops, reading books or articles, or seeking out a mentor or coach to guide you. Skill building is like going to the gym. You're working out your mental muscles to become stronger and better prepared to achieve your goals. Action planning. Once you have your goals and skills in mind, the next step is to create an action plan. This plan outlines the specific steps you need to take to achieve your goals. It's important to break down your goals into smaller, manageable tasks so you can stay motivated and on track. Action planning is like putting on your hiking boots and hitting the trail. You know where you're going and how to get there. Feedback and evaluation. Regular feedback and evaluation are crucial for staying on course and making progress towards your goals. Seek feedback from others who can provide insight and support, and evaluate your progress periodically to ensure you're moving in the right direction. Feedback and evaluation are like checking your compass or looking at a map. You want to make sure you're on the right path. Continuous improvement. Personal development is an ongoing process, and it's important to continue to work on yourself even after you've achieved your goals. This might mean setting new goals, refining your skills, or seeking out new challenges to keep pushing yourself forward. Continuous improvement is like hiking a mountain range. You've reached one peak, but there's always another one to climb. Overall, the traditional approach to personal development is a structured and comprehensive way to work on yourself and achieve your goals. By taking the time to assess your strengths and weaknesses, set clear goals, develop new skills, create an action plan, seek feedback, and continuously improve, you can become the best version of yourself. So why not grab a notebook and pen and start your personal development journey today? Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Jim Rohn. Have you ever felt stuck in a rut, struggling to make progress towards your goals despite your best efforts? Traditional approaches to personal development often focus on goal setting, planning, and acquiring new knowledge and skill. While these approaches can be effective, they may overlook a key factor in our behavior and actions: our habits. Habits are the foundation of our daily routines and actions. From brushing our teeth to exercising regularly, our habits shape our behavior, thoughts, and emotions. Habits can be positive or negative, but they all have a powerful impact on our lives. The new approach to personal development through habits emphasizes the importance of cultivating positive habits to support our goals and aspirations. This approach is based on the idea that by focusing on our habits, we can make lasting changes in our lives and achieve long-term success. Here are some key principles of the new approach to personal development through habits. Start small. Establishing new habits can be daunting, so it's important to start small. Choose 1 or 2 habits to focus on at a time and build from there. For example, if you want to start reading more, begin with just 10 minutes of reading per day and gradually increase the time as you develop the habit. Make it a daily practice. Consistency is key when it comes to developing new habits. Commit to practicing your new habit every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. This will help to reinforce the habit and make it a natural part of your routine. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Rather than fixating on the end result, focus on the daily practice of your habit. Celebrate each small success and trust that the outcomes will follow. For example, if you're practicing meditation, focus on the experience of sitting quietly and being present rather than on achieving a certain level of enlightenment. Use positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is a powerful tool for establishing new habits. Reward yourself when you practice your habit consistently, whether it's with a small treat or a moment of self-appreciation. This will help to reinforce the habit and make it more enjoyable. Be accountable. Sharing your new habit with others can help to keep you on track and motivated. Ask a friend or family member to check in on your progress or join a group or community that shares your goals and aspirations. By focusing on positive habits, we can make lasting changes in our lives and achieve our goals with greater ease and joy. So why not start small and commit to cultivating a positive habit today? Who knows?